Love this podcast? Support this show through the Acast supporter feature. It's up to you how much you give, and there's no regular commitment. Just hit the link in the show description to support now.
El rugido de los aficionados, el ritmo de las porras, la intensidad en la cancha. Esto es más que solo un partido de fútbol. Con DraftKings Sportsbook, esta es tu oportunidad de convertir cada jugada en una gran ganancia. Descarga la app de DraftKings Sportsbook y usa el código HEART. Ese es el código HEART para que los nuevos usuarios reciban $200 en bonus bets al instante cuando apuestes solo $5. En asociación con DraftKings, la corona es tuya. ¿Problemas con el juego? Llama al 1-800-GAMBLER. En Nueva York, llama al 877-8-HOPE-NY o envía un mensaje de texto con la palabra HOPE-NY al 467-369. En Connecticut, hay ayuda disponible para problemas con el juego. Llama al 888-789-7777 o visita ccpg.org. Juega responsablemente. En nombre de Boot Hill Casino Resort, Kansas. Debe ser mayor de 21 años. La elegibilidad varía según la jurisdicción. No válido en Ontario. Pueden aplicarse cargos en Illinois. Las apuestas de bonos son de un solo uso. La apuesta no se incluye en las ganancias y caducan después de ser otorgadas. La oferta finaliza el 29 de septiembre 2025 a las 11:59 p.m. hora del este. Los términos en DraftKings.com/sportsbook/promos.
Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. Enjoy your stay.
Hello.
Pop the Brownies.
And men are here today. Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. Come and have your say.
Yesterday was an incredibly sad day for British Speedway as Birmingham took to the track at Perry Bar for the very last time, marking the end for now of Speedway in the West Midlands. Our thoughts are with the Birmingham riders, management and supporters. We know the pride, passion and memories that you've all carried through the years and how painful it is to see it come to an end. Cradley, Coventry, Stoke, Wolverhampton and now Birmingham, one by one, proud clubs have been lost, and with them communities lose a safe place to come together, to find joy, to escape the pressures of everyday life. Speedway isn't just about bikes on shale, it's about friendship, about family nights out, and for so many people a huge boost to their mental well-being. Sporting venues must be protected at all costs. Our stadiums are sanctuaries where memories are made, friends are found and fans feel part of something bigger than themselves. That is priceless. We shouldn't be saying goodbye to Speedway in the West Midlands. We urge everyone who can make a difference to do all they can to protect and preserve our sport, not just for today's supporters, but for generations to come. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I think you'll say really nice words by Wolverhampton Speedway.
Yeah,
by
I
the way.
did see that statement put out on Sunday. Yeah, so
And I liked it so much, I had to use it tonight. It says it all, really.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just thinking, when you read out all those teams that have closed, what a cracking league that would be. Who would win it? Who would win that league?
Did they mention Cradley?
No.
Yeah, I mean, it's sad. I mean, all of those great teams, all of them have been teams for a long time.
and have all gone in the last 10 years, haven't they?
Yeah,
I mean, I know Cradley obviously were running at Monmouth, but it was a successful operation when they raced in the National League, and there's still obviously some hope for Coventry. Obviously, they've still got something to get back to. It's whether they can get back in there that's the problem. As we know, there's growing whispers about Cradley. Nigel Tolley in his interview after the meeting last night did sort of drop a few little hints about a possible revival for Cradley. I don't think that'll be for 2026. I think 2027 looks more realistic for that. So that's something for West Midlands fans to get behind. To get behind. But no, I mean, as over 35 years as a Speedway fan, I never ever thought we'd see a day when there'd be no Speedway at all in the West Midlands. And other than the non-COVID year of 2020, I think the last time there was no Speedway in the West Midlands was 1945. So that's how much
Chris remembers it well, don't you?
That's how much this area's Speedway heritage is. And you look at somewhere like the South East as well. The South East was once a hotbed. There's only Kent Kings left now. So London, of course, another one. Nothing there for a long time now.
I'm going to tell you a little story now. And it's a story you will have heard before, but I think it's sort of all the more ironic given that it happened yesterday.
Yeah.
A friend of mine was in the shop and was talking to somebody, and he said he happened to have a motorbike and he wasn't on it, and my friend was telling him about me and that I used to ride a motorbike and that it got stolen and I don't anymore. And the subject got onto Speedway and he went, "Oh yeah, I used to go and watch the Brummies, they're not running anymore." How many times have we heard that over the last 20 years? People saying, "Oh, they don't run anymore."
I must get it every couple of weeks.
But that happened yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah. They've been and gone.
So if he'd have said it today, then he would have been right. I don't know. I mean, obviously, I know you. And Chris Van Struten has alluded to this many times about how sporting stadiums must be protected, which is absolutely right. Mm-hmm. But the problem again, the value of this land as a stadium against the value of this land for housing is minuscule.
Yeah,
and that's
which is why
at the end of the day, you can't blame the owners because they are going to take the biggest offer.
Which is why these things have to be protected at a governmental level.
Yeah, I think the proposal from Van Struten was that, if that is going to happen, then an alternative site must be provided within I think it was a 10-mile radius or something. So, I mean, obviously, I think it's been known for officially, of course, it's been known at Birmingham since May, but I think most of us in the know have known for about 2 or 3 years.
I mean, let's be honest, we've been fighting for our life from before then, really.
I think, in fairness, even when Nigel Todd took over, he would have known then that it was only going to be a matter of 2 or 3 years because it was already, the stadium had already been earmarked for redevelopment.
Yeah, I think so.
Obviously with us at Wolves, it came completely out of the blue. Stoke were told about 2 days before their last meeting of the season that they were out, so they didn't have any time to sort of for it to sink in at all. So, and of course we all know what's happened at Coventry, and obviously, as I say, we're keeping our fingers crossed that something that can be a breakthrough in that, because again, that's just complete stalemate at the moment. So
it's all still very raw, very raw, and for me at the moment. I mean, and I won't tell a lie. When that flag went down yesterday on Heat 15, the emotions.
I was pleased about the fact that they allowed the fans to walk the track, but I thought it was important for me to walk around the track with my father, because as everybody knows, my father he dug the first soil of that track back in 2007. So it was quite fitting that he was the last one to walk on there.
I've got a picture of that as well.
Yeah, we've got that on.
Got a few pictures.
We've got that on.
We've
got that on tape somewhere. So.
Now, there's already a few. Now, obviously, the chances are high that we're going to be spending a lot of time talking about Birmingham and the last match last night, which, it's just going to happen, isn't it? But we will endeavour to talk about other things. So, guys, put your comments up, and we will talk about them and we will read them out. Simon Corbett says, would it work one Midland team bringing them all together? First thought is, where would that happen?
That's the problem, isn't it?
At the moment, the big problem is that there is no home for any Speedway team here. We haven't got a track.
No.
We haven't got a premises. We haven't got a stadium. We haven't got nothing.
And it would have to be central, I suppose, wouldn't it? Really?
But,
it's going to
be, which is the most central area? Probably Birmingham, but I can imagine Wolverhampton, Cradley and Coventry fans saying, not on your life. And I would understand that. It's difficult. And what would you call the team?
West Midland Miners or something like that. So, no, it's a difficult one, isn't it? that's been muted on a few times, isn't it? About merging teams in areas. You know, the one team in.
It just depends on whether
It's not
people
gonna-
would support it. I would certainly give it a go. It
Yeah.
wouldn't be my team.
Yeah.
It'd be my pretend team, sort of. But I would still go and support it. And
It's a track, though, isn't it? There isn't a track. It would have to be purpose
that's
built.
the
wouldn't
problem.
It?
They'd have to make a track.
Yeah.
I think there probably would be enough support
I think so. Yeah.
to make it viable. But as we said, where?
Where that's the $64,000 question, isn't it? I mean, if you're looking at the three main teams in the West Midlands, obviously Birmingham, Wolves, and Cradley. I suppose if you're going to pick anywhere, the logical place would be West Bromwich because that's probably the most central to the three of them. So.
Yeah.
Whether Wolves fans would entertain the idea of supporting a team in West Brom, I don't know. But,
Yeah, it's a difficult one. It would certainly possibly be worth a punt if they could find, if somewhere could be found.
yeah,
Somebody mentioned Coventry would be an ideal place.
well,
Coventry's-
like I said, Coventry is still there. It's just they can't get in there. So
It's not the West Midlands, though, is it?
no,
No, it's Midlands.
It's Midlands,
Yeah.
East Midlands.
yeah, it's on the border, isn't it? Really, it's sort of
It's Midlands,
part-
really.
yeah. Remember, of course, it's not in Coventry either. It's in Rugby.
It's in
so
Rugby.
people tend to forget about that. So
Only in Speedway.
Yeah. I didn't know that. Didn't know it was in Rugby.
It is in, yeah.
Yeah.
just about. So
Okay.
Nick Skippy Matthews turning supporters away from Birmingham last night. Where were all those fans every week? Couple of things to say on that. I mean, I absolutely understand that sentiment. Where the bloody hell were you? But yeah, first of all, sorry to anybody that got turned away. That was out of the control of Birmingham Speedway. I know that for a fact. That was down to the council, and they were there with their little tickers counting everybody in. And when they got to the number of people that they deemed was a full stadium, they weren't letting anybody else in. We've had a lot more than that in the stadium before.
well, the opening night in 2007,
yeah.
it was about 6,000, was it? So
Something like that.
Although it probably wouldn't have made a difference with the Brummies closing, the crowds have been poor, haven't they? Really?
Yeah, well, I'm coming to that.
Yeah.
It could have made it possibly
All season.
It could possibly have made a difference. However, how are you going to get big crowds when you're losing match after match and after match, and not just by a little bit? I mean, the season before we had the same thing, but at least we were competitive. We were losing them in the last heat deciders and so on. Yesterday's heat was over before we got to the interval.
yeah. It was
It was
probably the worst performance of the season, I would think, last night. It was
it the worst performance of the season, or was it just that Leicester are very, very strong?
Well, we'll come on to that, haven't we?
Yeah,
So
we
I did
will.
make a comment about Leicester early on to you, which...
But I think it would have made a difference in the sense of, I believe, and somebody will correct me if I'm wrong, that we did have the opportunity to continue on at that track for another year. It's just that we would have had to take the full lease. So it would have cost a lot more. Now, if we'd had plans coming, if we'd had more money coming in, he might have been more prepared to do it. It would have only been for another year.
But that's the problem, isn't it? It would have been a short-term thing because there was long-term. There was no future at Perrybar Stadium because of the proposals to develop it and build more houses alongside the apartments that they can't fill.
Yeah. But it's where the money is. I mean, bricks and mortar. They're going to be making money anyway.
Well, everything shouldn't be about, I nearly swore then,
I know.
money. It shouldn't, but it just shouldn't. The people's, we've spoke about it on this programme. I'm going to get angry now. We spoke about it on this programme before about mental health, and you remind me of the rider's name in a minute.
Is that right, Nick?
No, the one.
Zach, no, Zach obviously had problems, didn't we? So,
Yeah, but
Danny Ayres as
and
well.
Danny
so-
Ayres, that's
Yeah,
the one I was after. Danny Ayres, and that whole situation, and people, and men's health, and everybody's mental health. I am convinced that there'll be people from last night that will be suicidal after leaving last night, because that was their place. I got divorced halfway through the Brummies, and the Brummies kept me going. I went to all the away matches, I went everywhere, and they kept me going. I had a place that I could go, I could talk to people about something else other than what I was going through at the time. And I can guarantee there will be people in that crowd last night that are in that position.
Yeah.
Of that's what's keeping them going. Now you tell me, are we going to play lip service to people's mental health and mental well-being, or are we going to do something about it? And it starts with things like that, about with people having places and safe places where they can go and talk, not necessarily about what they're going through, but feel normal.
Yeah, of course.
And sorry, but it's. I just think it's true. So yeah, going back to where were all those fans every week? Well, the problem is that we never had a team to support, really. Not in the last 4 years, maybe.
No, it was a borrowed team. It was basically a team that was different every season.
Every
of riders
season.
that nobody else wanted.
I also think that audience was never there. I really do. Purely because of there wasn't enough publicity and stuff like that. You've got to ram it down people's throats.
I will say the one thing that has always handicapped Birmingham was that 21-year absence.
Yeah.
Because they lost a generation.
And a
Yeah,
half.
they lost. Yeah,
And
the people that were there,
But you don't get that back. It's got to start with the team.
Yeah.
It's got to start with the team and the track.
I'm not sure. I think it should be a spectacle as well, and it is.
It is a spectacle. Yeah, it's when it's working properly.
Yeah.
There's nothing better.
Yeah.
It just hasn't been working properly. Now we will over the coming weeks, I imagine, discuss why that wasn't so.
Yeah.
You have to feel a bit sorry for Tully. I think he's made bad mistakes. I think he's been advised.
Some of which I think have been forced on him to make bad decisions.
Yeah, and we'll
And it's probably not just Tully.
we'll look at that. And I think he's found himself. Speedway is a swamp,
Yeah.
and he's found himself in the swamp and didn't realise what a swamp it was.
Yeah.
So anyway, and that needs to change. That absolutely needs to change. I'll go back to what I said last week. If you keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result, then you must be mad.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, so there you go. I think I've covered all of that.
So,
Chris Thorogood, to make some good news, Mildenhall are back on track at Isle of Wight this evening and are running some meetings under Nora in September and October.
well, that's hopefully a way forward for Mildenhall. Obviously, there's been a lot of issues there over the things that have been going on. So,
Craig Smee, would Wolves and Birmingham fans get behind the revival of Cradley? The revival in the 80s, you wouldn't even have talked about that scenario. I've said this before, if Cradley came back and it's the only speedway, I would go and watch it, but I'd be supporting the away team every time.
Cost a lot of money having to buy all the opposition's away shirts, wouldn't it? Things like that, to make sure that you turn up with the right one every week. So.
No, I'd turn up in my Brummies kit, wouldn't I? But
listen, definitely, I would get behind Cradley, and there's a lot of talk about viability and things like that. I think Cradley would be viable because I think the fan base there for Cradley. I mean, Cradley were riding in the National League at Monmouth, and they were getting huge crowds. Bear in mind as well that there was a lot of Cradley fans who wouldn't go because it was at Monmouth. So there's obviously that element that would come back. So and I think Coventry would be viable as well, particularly if they can get the stock cars back in as well. I mean, we had Phil.
We did.
Can't remember his name now.
We had him.
Yeah.
Jeff Davis. We had Jeff Davis on the show a couple of years ago.
Phil Jeff Davis.
Yeah, Phil Jeff Davis. I've changed his. Sorry, mate.
That's his brother.
Yeah. I mean, we had him on the show a couple of years ago, didn't we? And he said, ultimately it was the stock cars that made Coventry viable. Coventry Speedway, just that stadium on its own, would not be viable. But it was the stocks that
I mean, the multi-faceted stadiums is probably the way to go, or as I keep saying, Tracks in fields.
There's not many fields in Birmingham, though, is it? That's the problem.
They're not far
Do
away.
you know what? I not long ago, you may have remember me telling you, I went up in a glider.
Yeah.
And the guy took me over. We was in Stratford. It was such a good day for gliding. He says, "Come on, I'll take you over to Birmingham," because I told him that's where I was. And he said, and he said to me, he says, "It's surprising how much green fields there are, isn't there?"
Mm.
Oh yeah, there's lots. Yeah.
So
You were photographing the area, I presume, for sites. So.
There's quite a few grass tracks around as well in the Midlands, or was.
there is, yeah. Okay. Phil Taylor, Plymouth versus Barrack Saturday night was delayed due to the amount of people outside at the start time. Long may it continue next season.
That's
Yeah,
a great post.
There was a great crowd when I went down there earlier in the season. Yeah, I think the thing with Plymouth is moving from Tuesday nights to Saturday night has been a big thing. And again, you know, if we could get these Saturday night tracks back, it'd be fantastic for us.
I was just going to. There was another comment I was going to have a look at. Sure, just want to. So Simon Corbett, in hindsight, did Brum miss a trick when Wolves closed to get Douglas, Becker, and Masters in the side, or were they too costly? No, I don't know whether they were too costly, but we were too late.
Yeah,
we made up our mind that we was running far too late.
That's been the problem, isn't it? I think over the last few years, there's always been an issue that they've had to sort out first, and then by the time they've sorted it out, everybody else is got ahead with their team building.
This is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the swamp. You're not allowed to tap people's riders before the end of the season and before this thing. But it happens all the time.
It was in any sport.
Yeah, but we didn't get into that because are we running? Are we not running? What rider's going to come and sign for you if you're going, are we running? Are we not running? Are we running? Are we not running?
Yeah.
You're not going to get anybody, are you? And he was convinced that we was going to have a 38-point limit this year. He said, I thought it already been decided, to be honest. And then when he turned up, all of a sudden, lo and behold, they're going, no, we're not going to get rid of our number one riders. We're going to keep hold of them. It's a swamp. And it needs to change.
Yeah.
That needs not to be in the control of the people that have got vested interests in clubs.
The Premiership this season has been far too lopsided. You know, we think, and to be fair, it's been the same for the last couple of years. We've predicted the top four before a wheel's been turned, and lo and behold, we've almost preempted it all because we've been right.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Andrew Hall was at Plymouth Speedway Saturday. I have to commend Mark Phillips for creating a family environment, but the actual product of the Speedway event was again witnessed with the first out of the gate. You get meetings like that. Yeah. It just happens. You get boring football matches that are 0-0 draws that do nothing for, I mean, every sport is liable. By and large, most tracks, everybody's been going on about our track this season. What a pass that Matty Zagar pulled, a double pass that he pulled off in heat, whatever it was.
It was a great ride. It is on YouTube as well, isn't it? It's been uploaded, so...
Yeah, so check that out. And that's on a track that, by common opinion, is impossible to pass on.
Mm-hmm.
It was by the end of the night.
Just a bit, yeah.
El rugido de los aficionados, el ritmo de las porras, la intensidad en la cancha. Esto es más que solo un partido de fútbol. Con DraftKings Sportsbook, esta es tu oportunidad de convertir cada jugada en una gran ganancia. Descarga la app de DraftKings Sportsbook y usa el código HEART. Ese es el código HEART para que los nuevos usuarios reciban $200 en bonus bets al instante cuando apuestes solo $5. En asociación con DraftKings, la corona es tuya. ¿Problemas con el juego? Llama al 1-800-GAMBLER. En Nueva York, llama al 877-8-HOPE-NY o envía un mensaje de texto con la palabra HOPE-NY al 467-369. En Connecticut, hay ayuda disponible para problemas con el juego. Llama al 888-789-7777 o visita ccpg.org. Juega responsablemente. En nombre de Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas. Debe ser mayor de 21 años. La elegibilidad varía según la jurisdicción. No válido en Ontario. Pueden aplicarse cargos en Illinois. Las apuestas de bonos son de un solo uso. La apuesta no se incluye en las ganancias y caducan después de ser otorgadas. La oferta finaliza el 29 de septiembre 2025 a las 11:59 p.m. hora del este. Los términos en DraftKings.com/sportsbook/promos.
Confronting high credit card debt can feel scary. But the good news is, if you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt, financial relief options are now available. National Debt Relief is currently offering debt relief designed to reduce what you owe, fast-tracking your way to being debt-free. If you qualify for debt relief, you may be able to pay back significantly less than what you owe and save thousands of dollars. Imagine only paying one low monthly program payment you can afford and saving money as you become debt-free. National Debt Relief has already helped bring debt relief to over 550,000 U.S. consumers, earning thousands of five-star reviews and an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau. You're stronger than your credit card debt. Take the first step and visit nationaldebtrelief.com to see what debt relief you qualify for. That's nationaldebtrelief.com.
The product does itself fails to materialise when it comes to bringing new people into the sport. When it's following the leader, we need a fresh approach in Speedway. So here's my. I understand what you're saying. However, and it's okay for you to say it here in this situation, but 9 times out of 10, when people ask you about Speedway and they say, "Oh, it's first out the gate," people go, "Yeah, you're right, really." That's not what you should be telling people. If you want people to come to your sport, you tell them about the exciting bits, about when you go, "How the hell did he get through that gap?" bits. You know, we're as fans, we are important in as important in promoting the sport as other people.
Absolutely, yeah.
And we forget that sometimes, I think. Having said all that, the promoters need to be a kick up their arse and get somebody like Phil Morris, give him all the power and say, "This is yours. We'll run our clubs. You tell us what we've got to do."
Phil Morris has been given some power, but for me, not enough power. I think
it needs to be brought out by somebody with money. So,
I don't know how far
we've
we
done
got
Simons,
down.
yeah. No, we've done Simons, so we got Pete's underneath.
There was some more YouTube there, wasn't there? I didn't.
I'm sorry, I didn't read it.
I think.
Yeah.
Track preparation is thank you, is integral, but let's be totally honest, how a rider is expected to pass on the size of a track like Plymouth.
I saw some passing when I went to Plymouth, so it can be done. It is a very small track, and it is a very technical track. Obviously they can only work with the size of the land they've got. It is only a very, very small area of land they've got, but they managed to, as I said, I was impressed with them what they've done, because they started out, as you've said it's track with the field, and it has been gradually built up, and it is a tremendous little venue now, and I'm looking forward to going back there next year.
They've shown a blueprint for the future of Speedway, and Somerset did it as well, really successfully.
What did for Somerset, I think, was COVID and probably moving up into the top league when they shouldn't have done so.
Yeah, I think so. Pete Clark says 24 hours later and the dust has finally settled. I would like to officially thank everyone who has ever volunteered to help in any way at Perry Bar. And I think you should give a warm round of applause for that one. Chris is not listening.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, come on. You've got it there.
Find it.
We talk amongst yourself. Hang on.
Dear me.
Lovely weather, isn't it?
Here we go.
That's enough.
Nick Skippy Matthews is a friend of mine who volunteered at Birmingham for years as track staff and been going Birmingham Speedway since being a boy, was turned away. Okay, not a fault of Birmingham Speedway to give Birmingham Speedway their due. They warned people. They said, get tickets.
Yeah.
They said to you, get tickets, because we're expecting a capacity crowd. They said the council have limited how many were allowed to bring in. That they was upfront about it, and it was the council that were there yesterday with their little clickometers, clicking people in.
Yeah, so I had one of them who kept waving you to me, so
yeah,
even though I'm on the staff, so
so it's sad. It shouldn't have happened, but you can blame Birmingham City Council for that little fiasco.
There was a few little things that happened last night.
Yeah,
I don't really want to get into them, to be honest. But
no, I don't mind getting into them.
It sort of soured it a little bit for me.
Yeah, I don't mind getting into them. You're on about the attitude of the Greyhound
stadium stuff. Yeah,
yeah,
not all of them. To be fair, not the day-to-day ones. There's some brilliant guys on
No,
there.
you were talking about management.
Yes, I was actually. Yeah, so.
That's what we're talking about. I don't care. I'm going to say it. They took stuff out the bars. We couldn't sell with alcohol. There was ceiling tiles missing. There was rubbish all over the floor because they'd finished, so they didn't care about us, and it just showed what they thought of Speedway.
And no beer.
And Speedway, that's kept them going. Helping keep them going.
I work in the area upstairs in the hospitality area, and I walked past one of the bars, and there was virtually nothing there. So,
Anyway, so we were up against it a little bit yesterday.
Yeah.
To be totally honest, and there was management wandering around in cars, by the way, while people were trying to get in the track.
Yeah.
And parking where they've been telling us we're not allowed to park, and sorry, getting annoyed. Have we got any more comments before we?
So would you be taking up the offer to go to Dunstall Park as a guest for the management?
Yeah, maybe with an axe.
I missed a couple. There we go. That one.
Browne recent an awful amount of money was raised for the Ben Fund at Foxhall Stadium last Thursday, 3,337.57.
I think they raised over 1,000 last night. It's been put on.
That's incredible.
Yeah, so
That's brilliant.
Beating the record back in 2023.
yeah.
Phil Taylor, true Speedway fans follow their clubs through the good days and the bad days. Unfortunately, too many people nowadays only watch when the team are doing well, and that's the society we live in today, unfortunately.
I think that's the same as with
Yeah,
football.
we've made losing too important, haven't we? So
Yeah,
Yeah,
but when you go, and now as I've been in the, as I've mentioned before, been in the privileged position of not having to pay to watch my Speedway. When I decided I couldn't do the red flag anymore, and I had to start paying, my God, was that a shock to the system? Jesus, and I get, I'm an old man now.
And tight.
And
tight.
I don't pay as much as other people.
And tight as
And when I took me and my wife there and brought the programs and had expensive drinks, now
That's up.
I'm sorry. If I'd been doing that for a few years and watching what we was watching, I'd pick and choose my matches.
Yeah.
Because I've got other things that I need to spend my money on, like my car or whatever it is,
Yeah.
So
Totally agree.
yeah, and I don't mind losing much, but I'd like to see a good show.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yesterday I felt better about yesterday's match than some of the others I've watched because of that pass by Zagar. That was just, and the whole thing with Paco at the end in the race that he won, and he showed how much it meant to him.
Perhaps fitting that he was the last Brummie to win a heat there, so because he has been a popular figure there, isn't it? So.
Go on, read that one. Go on.
Was it good? I'm getting to, but was it good publicity? Charles Wright and Jake Allen incident.
Well, they certainly. The Speedo GB Twitter account put it all over their Twitter feed, didn't they? So they'll have a nerve if they turn around and find them. So
I can't.
Nice little bit of free publicity. So
okay, let me put it this way. A couple of years ago, Mr. Ty Waffenden got into trouble for saying a few expletives and deletives in the beginning of the season press conference.
Press day, yeah.
And he said, well, people should be looking for more things like that. He said the most watched Speedway clip on YouTube is the Emil Saifusin Scott Nichols
fight. Yeah.
Okay, and it is.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
It hasn't brought one extra person through the door, though.
Yeah.
Not one extra person. It has not brought one extra person through any Speedway door.
You tend to find that's the only time Speedo gets any publicity though for there's riders fighting. So
it is good publicity, but only if it's followed up in some way.
They needed to do it again the week after, didn't they? Really?
Yeah.
No, but it needs to be followed up. No, by the powers that be. They need to talk about. But the way that the pompous way they would. I mean, I think they totally ignored it. But if they did talk about it, they'd be talking about, oh, well, we don't condone this sort of behaviour. They would have been doing that. Whereas what they should have been doing is, this is Speedway. Come and watch it.
Yeah.
Your track is here. You've got a track. We've got a sheet. That's what. But they don't. And they're trying to be what they're not. They're trying to be a a football sport or a this sport or a that sport. You know, no, we're an entertainment sport.
Yeah.
It's about entertainment,
yeah.
and all the better for it.
I think it might have been Peter Oakes' idea about introducing a yellow and red card system for riders if they have a fight, because at the end of the day, nobody gets hurt. A couple of competitors let off a bit of steam, and Speedo gets a nice little bit of free publicity. So nothing wrong with that.
They should have a referee or a referee's assistant on the track, waving stuff at riders and telling them, right, you're out.
Yeah.
You know, and all of, you know, somebody for the crowd to shout.
You don't really get the situation now where riders get on the phone to the referee, do you?
No, and the phone should be by the starting gate.
Yeah. I know it was at Monmouth for a while, but the riders stopped using it for some reason. They used to go by the office. They used to go and use the phone.
It should
there,
be somewhere where you can. There should be a booth, or something where you can see it happening.
And you should be on a loudspeaker.
Well, that would be.
Oh, come on, that would get people going.
That would be interesting.
A bit like tennis.
Anyway, question from Craig Smead: how did Brian Buck not persuade his son to be a Brummie? Aren't you a Wolves fan?
That is. I've told this many stories. I've told this story many times before. Obviously, when I started watching the sport, memories I started watching the sport were 1990, and of course Birmingham had gone by then. So, and obviously my father was working at Wolves then, so that's how that came about. But you know, Birmingham has always been. I worked this out the other day, actually. I mean, I'm 42 years of age. I was born in 1982, and I think Birmingham has been.
You had a hard life.
For about, other than about 21 years, Birmingham has always been a part of my life anyway, because because of my dad's. Even when it wasn't running, you know, I knew about the campaign that my father did. So. You do get an affinity, and I've always wanted to see, even though my allegiance is with Wolves, I've always wanted to see Birmingham do well as well, because I think it's important for the area. And you know, if we can get an opportunity in the Fastway Speedway can return to Birmingham, then 100% it's a good thing. So that's basically how that happened. Yeah, that's my excuse anyway.
Okay, you just made the wrong choice.
Diplomatically put that.
Yeah. You just made the wrong choice.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, I live closest to Cradley. I could have been. There was a Cradley fan.
Wouldn't be.
I don't think I would have been in this. I don't think I would have been in this room for a start.
I'm sorry. Pete Clark says members of the BSSC were cleaning up rubbish on Sunday. That's the Birmingham Speedway Supporters Club, I should say. Were cleaning up rubbish on Sunday morning due to the last dog meeting on Saturday. It was a sea of plastic cups, so they didn't clean up after themselves. They had their last meeting and then buggered off. Thanks, guys.
Yep, brilliant.
Paul something Lavender.
Paul Lavender.
Okay.
Yep.
PVT.
So.
PVI.
PVL. Okay. It's all right, lads. Dunstall won't work too far away from track. It will only get
the
40 people watching the tally in the bum.
And somebody's been fined, said Anne Breton.
Yeah, they have been fined. Jake Allen and
yeah, I have. Yeah, they have been fined.
They've taken the publicity, but we'll fine you anyway.
Yeah.
Ooh.
What they should do is give them some money and say, "Do it again next week, lads." I think it was Dan McCormick. I might be wrong, but somebody I believe associated with Birmingham Speedway saw two riders fighting in the pits and said, "Don't do it there. Take it outside where they can see you."
That's the sort of thing Thomas would have done, wasn't it? Really.
The most watched fight should be Boyce and Golub. Ooh, that's a proper knockout. It wasn't much of a fight, really, was it?
That was unbelievable. That was there. I mean, that was on Sky News. That was so. I mean, and Sky were. I mean, they had it in the pre-title sequence and everything. They were absolutely fixated with that for years. Sky were.
I mean, it wasn't a fight, though, was it? Really?
No, it was. I mean, it had been brewed up for a whole of the way through that year with Golub, because he was quite. He was a bit of a wild rider in those days, and there was more than one rider in that first Grand Prix season that he wiped out, and in the end he just picked on the wrong bloke. So.
Speedway promoters don't promote.
Yep, I agree with that.
I would say actually that Speedway promoters only promote themselves, and that's what's wrong. They don't promote Speedway.
They promote within the perimeters of their car park. I think that's the problem. They don't look further out.
There needs to be. I mean, it only works if you've got somebody that's got loads and loads and loads of money and says, "I'll take on the whole lot of you."
Yeah.
And you're mine now. You run your own clubs, but you do what I tell you today. And part of being a member of this club is that you've got to give me some money for me to promote the sport as a sport, not as a club, not as a one-off thing. It needs to be pretty.
Yeah. Talked about that before.
Isn't the Alex Stadium an option? Only if you want to spend £6,500
if you've got a big check, Simon, then please hand it over to Mr. Nigel Tully. So.
Yeah, it's 6.5k a week.
They are desperate. They are desperate for it to be used, aren't they?
This is what I don't get about,
but not for Speedway,
about the council. Why didn't they just turn around to us and say, "You can have it for another year. We'll give it you for a reduced." Surely something is better than nothing.
But I just the impression I get with Birmingham City Council that they're just not interested in motorsports anyway.
Do you know it's just ridiculous for a city with such a strong motoring heritage?
Yeah,
we are. We're Motown of Great Britain, essentially.
Yeah.
Did you see how much debt Birmingham City Council's in at the moment? By the way,
yeah,
3.3 billion.
Which is really why they've gone ahead with Knighthead developing the sports quarter.
Well, I've heard things about that as well. So
I've heard things about that as well. About how much that's
another offer. We're probably saying too much here, so we'll take it off air. So.
Yeah. The fight made a certain national newspaper, and the two teams meet again at Scunthorpe on Friday.
They should be pushing that, haven't they? So
should you say that you don't see things like when we went down to Eastbourne and they had a picture of a rider roasting another rider. And it's going to be Arthur Browning.
Yeah, you wouldn't get that now.
You wouldn't get that now.
No, you wouldn't be allowed to do it. No. Which is the case it offends somebody.
I don't like this thing about being offended.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. Nobody dies. You're offended, so
I'm
what?
Offended by that.
Boy bands offend me. Anna Breton.
This is the statement, I think, from the...
I believe that's a new name. I don't think...
that's the statement for...
The Speedway Control Bureau have viewed the footage of the incident between... I'm doing it in there, Speedway Control Board. Between Jake Allen and Charles Wright after the conclusion of Heat 6 of the Red Car vs Scunthorpe Championship and fixture on Friday the 22nd of August 2025. It has been concluded that both Mr. Allen and Mr. Wright breached Speedway regulations, which reads, and then it gives you the Speedway regulation, I can't be bothered. Due to this breach, both Mr. Allen and Mr. Wright have been issued with a cash penalty and also a warning of their future behaviour as per regulation blah blah blah. Both Mr. Allen and Mr. Wright have a right to appeal this penalty as per blah blah blah, and we hope they do it again at the next match.
What's wrong with just a warning?
Yeah.
Warning first. I mean, listen, if your rider's doing it every week, then eventually throw the book at them. But
Nigel has done well at Brum, considering he told me he is a Cradley fan.
Oh, no, he's never hid that allegiance.
He's never hid that. No.
Never hid it.
Never hid it. Milden Oil racing tonight in the Isle of Wight. Can't wait for the first home fixture. I never got the chance last time round.
We wish him well. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Friend of the show. Simon Corbett, plenty of mugs for sale.
Well, what are you selling yours?
Don't forget, Rider of the Week.
Yes, Rider of the Week, please. Have you got anything in mind?
Have you got anything in mind?
I haven't seen a lot of Speedway this week, to be fair. So
it goes on what you have seen.
Yeah. I will say, he always rides Perrybar brilliantly, but I would probably say Ryan Douglas.
Okay. I
think he was one rider that I think a lot of Birmingham fans would love to have seen Birmingham get when they moved up, because it's a track that he always seems to revel at, isn't he? So I'm going to go for Duggar.
And I'm obviously going to go for a Birmingham rider because it's the last chance I'm ever going to get.
Matty Sago?
Nope. Paco Castagna. He wears his heart on his sleeve, and he's what Speedway needs is the sort of character that Speedway needs. Simon Corbett, back in the day, a hammer killing a wolf.
Oh, well, I've seen that programme cover before, yes. Yeah.
Phil Lanning answered a very valid question raised on Bellevue's social media. So Bellevue had arguably their biggest crowd, excluding a playoff meeting in years yesterday. Okay, the weather was great. It was bank holiday. I've lost that now.
Okay.
And it was packed out. Lots and lots of kids as well, which was great to see. And they all looked to be enjoying it. Bellevue have been using targeted advertising to an audience that don't know what Speedway is, as well as Speedway.
Yeah, that's what's needed.
Supporters, followers. He said it's been a slow burner, but crowd numbers have been steadily improving since the Grand Prix, and they feel it started to peak the last few weeks. Not sure if it's because of the impending playoffs that crowds are up, but would be interesting to see if this trend continues into next season. Clubs need to promote collectively as well as individually.
Spot on.
Not think
Spot on.
what's important for my track. Sod the rest of them. So
It's the new audience. It's the audience that haven't seen Speedway, correct?
Correct. Me, he's gone for Brady Kurtz, got a 15-point maximum in Bellevue's thumping win over Sheffield yesterday afternoon. So
Tom Brennan's starting to really look the business at Foxhall and getting some good scores abroad, riding into form at the right time.
Yeah, and he started very slowly, didn't he, at Ipswich? But he's got better.
Is that a pick, Chris, for your rider of the week?
Yeah.
Is that a pick? Kurt's immaculate 15 points against Sheffield. What do we think of Glasgow giving tickets away?
They did this last week, didn't they?
I've read a little bit about it now, and a bit more clearer on what they're doing. It seems, it's an idea.
It's an idea. The only thing is, I mean, I think we all remember what happened a few years ago when Lakeside did that. They let everybody in for free, and they had a huge crowd. Following week,
not what they're doing though, is it?
Crowd was back to normal. So
they're giving it to the supporters to give it away to invite people in, and it's almost like. Because one of the things that people say to us, and Tully's been going on about this, is tell your friends and get them to come. People are really shy about doing that sometimes, particularly as people go, I want to go and watch that, it's noisy, it's this, it's that, it's whatever. But if you go, come and watch.
I've got a free ticket, yeah, that's it.
That's,
people like that word, free.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. And you hopefully get them hooked.
Or they don't speak to you again.
Yeah. Right. Well,
depends what mean you take them to.
We have spoken for 40 minutes without stop talking about Birmingham Speedway. Yeah. And unfortunately, next week's show
is going to be the same.
Is going to be the same because next week we're doing about memories of Birmingham Speedway. So we want you guys to join in. With your memories, whether it's as an away supporter or when we've come to your team, you don't have to be a Birmingham supporter, but some memories, good and bad.
Are we just going from 2007, or are we going from before as well?
No, let's just do the lots. Yeah. I mean, obviously, most of our audience is going to be from 2007, but you know, we've got a few guests planned from Birmingham Speedway coming up next week. Yeah. Voices that you wouldn't normally hear. That's all I will say.
And I can also say I've got a history group going up on Facebook as well shortly. I've got over 1,000 pictures going way back. Right. Your dad will love it. Yeah, he will love it. And
fingers crossed, we will have a very special guest next week as well, a former Birmingham rider from the most recent era. So
started with us in 2007.
See, Dave Twine's really, really old. He said 1971. I'm guessing that's when he
first started.
Not when he was born. I think he retired then.
Here's an interesting question. Do you think finishing top of Premiership is an advantage in the playoffs?
I don't think it is, to be honest.
It used to be.
Yeah, I think. I mean, we spoke about this before we started, didn't we? I get the feeling that last night, as poor as Birmingham were, I get the feeling that last night we saw this season's league champions.
I think there's a good chance.
I think they're coming into form at the right time. I think last season, as you said, they went into the player final and they'd probably just maybe peaked, and they came up against a Bellevue team that was just far too strong for them. But chances are they're going to have Ipswich in the semi-final. And of course, as well, let's not forget the last season those two sides met in the semi-final, and of course Leicester had a controversial win with some of the refereeing decisions going their way. So yeah, but I think. And the other one's obviously going to be Sheffield and Bellevue, so there's obviously a historic rivalry between Sheffield and Bellevue. So we've got two really, as we've talked about the league being lopsided, but we are going to have four really.
El rugido de los aficionados, el ritmo de las porras, la intensidad en la cancha. Esto es más que solo un partido de fútbol. Con DraftKings Sportsbook, esta es tu oportunidad de convertir cada jugada en una gran ganancia. Descarga la app de DraftKings Sportsbook y usa el código HEART. Ese es el código HEART para que los nuevos usuarios reciban $200 en bonus bets al instante cuando apuestes solo $5. En asociación con DraftKings, la corona es tuya. ¿Problemas con el juego? Llama al 1-800-GAMBLER. En Nueva York, llama al 877-8-HOPE-NY o envía un mensaje de texto con la palabra HOPE-NY al 467-369. En Connecticut, hay ayuda disponible para problemas con el juego. Llama al 888-789-7777 o visita ccpg.org. Juega responsablemente. En nombre de Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas. Debe ser mayor de 21 años. La elegibilidad varía según la jurisdicción. No válido en Ontario. Pueden aplicarse cargos en Illinois. Las apuestas de bonos son de un solo uso. La apuesta no se incluye en las ganancias y caducan después de ser otorgadas. La oferta finaliza el 29 de septiembre 2025 a las 11:59 p.m. hora del este. Los términos en DraftKings.com/sportsbook/promos.
If you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or personal loans, help is here. More and more Americans turn to credit cards to get by. National Debt Relief is helping qualified clients reduce what they owe. For many, continuing to struggle making minimum monthly payments could take years to pay off. National Debt Relief has already helped over 550,000 Americans reduce their debt by negotiating directly with their creditors. When you call, you'll be amazed at how much you can save and how quickly you can become debt-free. If you want off the debt treadmill, visit nationaldebtrelief.com today. You don't need to declare bankruptcy, and you may qualify for significant debt relief. To find out what savings you may qualify for, simply visit nationaldebtrelief.com. That's nationaldebtrelief.com.
Fantastic player, two fantastic player semi-finals to look forward to. And you could pick any one of those four, but Leicester for me at the moment, they've got the look of champions.
They seem to have. I mean, they came and did a job on us last night. There was no.
They had to. Well, they had to be, didn't they? It was, as I said last week, it wasn't a testimonial. They had to be. And Stuart Dixon alluded to this in his interview before the meeting. Very sorry that Birmingham were closing, and obviously, he did have a brief spell in charge at Birmingham, but there was no room for sentiment, and they had to. They turned up and they did a job. I think if it had been the other way around, you would have expected Birmingham to go there and do a job.
I'd have been disappointed if they hadn't.
Got to be integrity. Got to show integrity to the league. So
Chris Thorogood said Alan Ellis at reserve for Ipswich from the 1st of September only makes us stronger, especially at home.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
We've got 10 minutes left of the show, so we need to get on. We need to get on with our.
Okay. Sorry,
no
been giving our orders now.
Yeah, get on with it, please.
It's up to me to go first.
Do you want to look at the tables first?
Should we get the Should we do the fixtures and then look at the tables?
God, he's gone all to cock, hasn't he?
Yeah. So we have a new. Well, we've got joint leaders now. See, Skippy and Andrew on 173, Rich Thomas 171, Elliot 170. Simon's on 168, so he's lurking in the distance as is Phil Taylor.
It's going to be a late sprint, isn't it?
It's going to this one's going to go really to the last go to the last week or the last meeting of the last week.
And you wanted to finish. the show next week. Come on.
Yeah, apologies for that. I put the wrong.
Come on.
Sorry. Okay, at least I'm above you, so that's okay.
Yeah,
I
think that's where that's going to stop.
I'm
picking up the Birmingham Speedway vibes, obviously.
And here is the
last week's results.
That's as big as I'm going to be able to get them, I'm afraid.
Yeah, a lot of fixtures last week, unfortunately. So we are a bit.
I've done well again. I got come 8th.
Yep.
It's better than...
You
I'm
won.
so far bit.
Look at that. That's awful. That's embarrassing, though.
Not a great week for Simon either, so 3 from bottom, so after doing so well last week. So.
I don't feel so bad with Simon just above me, to be fair.
Okay, so let's have a look at the fixtures then. We'll start off with the Knockout Cup semi-final first leg in the Championship tomorrow, Poole against Glasgow.
Ooh, why do I have to go first? Poole against Glasgow, I'm going to say Poole by 6 points.
I mean, Glasgow, they got a thumping, didn't they, at Workington on Saturday afternoon, so it's a bit of a surprise, that one, but I'm going to go for Poole by 10.
Okay.
Poole by 12.
Okay, then. And then on Thursday, Leicester against Birmingham. Birmingham's final match in the top flight.
I mean, we've actually won.
They've done well at Leicester this season, but it's. I don't think I don't hold that much hope for them.
I don't think there'll be any fight in there, really.
I'm going to go for Leicester by 22.
Chris?
Leicester by 16.
Leicester by 24.
Okay, Sheffield against Ipswich is the next one.
Kidoki, that's up to you, Chris. Interesting match.
Leicester by 4.
It's Sheffield against Ipswich.
Sheffield by
Ipswich.
4.
Yes.
It's people on the shout box are annoying me.
Stop annoying me.
Okay, right, so who's next? Me or you?
Me, yeah. Sheffield by 6.
I'll go Sheffield by 12. Bold on that one. Okay, Kings Lynn against Bellevue is the third fixture on Friday.
Okay, Bellevue by 2.
Kings Lynn by 4.
I was going to say that.
You still can.
You still can.
Kings in by 4.
Okay, told you you could.
Okay, what have you said that for? Glasgow against Edinburgh on Friday in the Championship.
Ooh, tasty. Your go.
Glasgow by 10.
Glasgow by
4.
Okay.
Always more on these ones, isn't there?
Yep. Scunthorpe against Redcar is the next one, so the rematch of Jake Allen and Charles Wright.
That's up to you, Chris.
Sorry, what was the teams against?
Scunthorpe against Redcar.
Against Redcar.
I'll go Redcar by 6.
Scunthorpe by 2.
I'll go Redcar by 8.
I have to get some differences in there.
Yeah, this is the start of the season where you're going to have to start looking at what your closest rivals are doing. So. Okay, then on Saturday afternoon in the Championship, it's in the National League, I should say, it is Middlesbrough against the Bellevue Colts.
Colts have not had a great season, have they, really?
They haven't at all, no. I think they've only won one match so far.
Which makes it easy for me to say Middlesbrough by 8.
Middlesbrough by 6.
Middlesbrough by...
Okay, Plymouth against Kent in the National Development Trophy is the next one.
That's up to you, Matt.
Kent by 4.
Kent by 10.
Plymouth by 4.
Okay, meanwhile in the Championship on Saturday, it's Berwick against Workington.
Chris?
Berwick by 4.
I'm going to go for a draw.
I'm going to go for Berwick by 8. Okay, and the two sides meet again the following day at Workington, so it's Workington against Berwick.
Workington by 4.
Workington by 8 also.
Workington by 2.
Okay, and lastly, on Monday night in the Premiership, it's Kings Lynn against Sheffield.
That's up to you, Matt.
Sheffield by 10.
Sheffield by 4.
Sheffield by 8, just to slightly different. So I'd just like to ask Craig Smee a question. Who the hell's Middlesbrough?
Creeks Bay.
That's the one.
Yep. And of course, we've got a Grand Prix as well on Saturday as well in Wrocław, penultimate round of the season, and the latest in the battle between Smarslik and Kurtz for the World Championship. Mm-hmm. Just 3 points separating them at the moment.
That's mad.
Yeah.
That's just come from nowhere, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's somebody's got a crack.
I think Smarslik needs to get. I think Smarslik is going to need to get a result because he's seen. He had a big lead, didn't he? In his last 3 Grand Prix, he's seen Curtis slowly chipped away at it, and a big chip away at it in the last Grand Prix.
It's almost as if he's gone, oh well, okay, this is mine.
He knows how to do it, but again, last time somebody was this close to him, of course, was Artem Laguta, and of course Laguta pipped into the Championship. So It's going to be, it's a big test for Smolsticks. Is whether he can handle the pressure, because he's not really been under any pressure at all the last 3 seasons. So,
no, he hasn't. The last time he was under pressure, of course, he sort of lost the thing.
Yeah, it was with a Guta. So.
With Guta.
My stupid question of the week. Apart from in this country, I know.
Well, there's your stupid
Millennium
start.
Cardiff have one, but do any other teams or stadiums have roofs just purely for so that they can have Speedway?
There was one.
There was one, yeah,
and I can't remember. Somebody out there will tell us. Was it Prague?
No, it wasn't Prague. Prague never had a roof. No. I went to Hamar in Norway, which had a roof, but that wasn't a proper speedway track. That was like an indoor ice rink that had been converted into speedway. So, okay. It was an experience going to Norway to watch speedway. great country though. Really enjoyable trip there. So,
hi chaps, sad day, but the sport has fallen so far from its glory days. Riders need to be getting into schools and getting kids interested in their local teams, says Dan Alwed.
Riders need to come from your local area to do that.
Yeah.
A Polish rider isn't going to fly in from Poland just to go to a school, and it's not going to happen. So yeah, I mean, you go. It's almost the same conversation as you hear when we had coats for goalposts.
Yeah.
It's that, but you need your local riders. Which rider got the biggest cheer last night? You tell me which Birmingham rider got the biggest cheer last night? Do you think?
You tell me.
Andy Graham.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
Still looked good, didn't he, on a bike? Even he hasn't ridden professionally for 30 years.
Struggling to get into. To get into it, we had to sort of help him get into the.
I would have imagined that he would have been, having thought about his brother as well while he was doing those laps.
Yeah,
so
I bet.
obviously both started out.
Warsaw has a roof.
Warsaw does, yeah. Although it's obviously not it's not obviously a full permanent track, of course, is it? So.
No. Interesting. Hear the music.
Okay. So, in conclusion, we will see you next week. And then after that, it will be normal service as we
towards the playoffs and the World Championships.
We are still going to be here.
Yeah.
Yes, it was a sad day yesterday.
Yeah.
Enjoy your Speedway, guys, while you've still got
Let's just say we hope it's just taking a break from the West Midlands, not gone forever.
Absolutely. You take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Good night.
Have a drink, have your say. All opinions here today. Welcome to the Speedway.